Jean Grey isn't just some random X-Men character. She's one of the most powerful, most tragic, and honestly, one of the most misunderstood heroes in all of Marvel. She started out as the sweet, quiet telepath on the team, but over time she became the host of something way bigger than herself, the Phoenix, a cosmic force that gave her godlike powers and pushed her way past her breaking point. Her story has everything: love, sacrifice, power, and some seriously intense battles. This is the rise and fall of Jean Grey, and yeah, it gets emotional. So let's get into it. Jean Grey goes all the way back to X-Men issue 1 in 1963. That's right, she's one of the original 5 X-Men, and the only girl on the team at the time. Back then, she was called Marvel Girl, and her powers were pretty simple. She could move objects with her mind. No fiery cosmic forces, no galaxy-shaking meltdowns, just straight-up telekinesis. And even that was limited. But even from the start, Jean was more than just the token female character. She was the emotional heart of the group, while characters like Beast and Iceman brought the jokes, and Cyclops was all serious and stressed out. Jean had this calm strength that grounded the team. She could hold her own in battle, but she also cared deeply about the people around her. And yeah, from early on, you could see the connection between her and Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, starting to grow. It's one of Marvel's oldest love stories, full of awkward glances, intense loyalty, and so much drama. In X-Men, the animated series, you really see this dynamic play out. Jean as the steady presence, balancing out Logan's wild side and Scott's leadership pressure, but she wasn't just the team's moral compass. As the series progressed, both in comics and animation, so did her powers. Professor X eventually helped her unlock her telepathic abilities, letting her read minds and communicate mentally with others. That's when things started getting serious. You could tell Jean wasn't just another teammate anymore. She was evolving into something more powerful, something big, and while she didn't know it yet, her life was heading towards something cosmic, dangerous, and completely life-changing. Looking back, her early days feel quiet compared to what's coming, but that's what makes her story hit so hard. She started out as a kind-hearted mutant, just trying to help people. She had no idea she was on a path to becoming one of the most powerful and most feared beings in the entire Marvel universe. So Jean Grey starts out with basic telekinesis, right? Lifting things with her mind, throwing stuff around. Cool, but not exactly universe-shattering. But as the years go on, her powers evolve big time. She gains full-blown telepathy, starts reading minds, projecting thoughts, and even mentally shutting people down. And that's just her mutant abilities. Everything changes during a mission in space with the X-Men. Their ship is falling apart while re-entering Earth's atmosphere, and Jean takes the wheel, using her powers to shield her friends and fly the ship herself. It's heroic. It's emotional. And it should have killed her, but it didn't. Instead, something else answered her call. That's when the Phoenix Force shows up and changes everything. This cosmic entity sees Jean's sacrifice and decides to help, merging with her, or maybe replacing her, depending on which version you're reading. Either way, Jean comes back to Earth reborn as the Phoenix. She's stronger than ever, like next level. She can move atoms, resurrect the dead, survive in space, and basically do whatever the story needs. At first, she's in control. She's still Jean, just turbocharged. But power like that, it never comes without a cost. The more she taps into the Phoenix, the more it starts to take over. The line between Jean and the cosmic force starts to blur, and soon, she's not just a hero anymore. She's something else. And that something takes Jean down a path that tests everything: her heart, her identity, and her soul. After Jean merges with the Phoenix Force, she's more powerful than ever. And for a while, things are actually pretty amazing. She's confident, in control, and saving the day on a whole new level. The X-Men are stunned, and even cosmic forces take notice. But slowly, things start to slip. It all starts with the Hellfire Club, specifically a guy named Mastermind, who decides to mess with Jean's mind using psychic illusions. He wants to control her, twist her into becoming the club's new Black Queen. Bad move, because while he's busy manipulating Jean, he accidentally pokes the bear, or in this case, the Phoenix. His illusions break down the barrier between Jean and the full, untamed power of the Phoenix Force. And just like that, Marvel Girl is gone. The Dark Phoenix is born. Now we're talking full cosmic meltdown. Jean isn't just powerful anymore, she's unstable, dangerous, and completely out of control. She destroys the Hellfire Club like it's nothing, but that's just the beginning. In one of the most shocking moments in Marvel history, she flies into space and devours a star, like literally eats it. That act wipes out an entire inhabited planet. Just like that, billions of lives gone. That's the moment she stops being a hero and becomes a threat to the universe. The X-Men don't give up on her, though. They know Jean is still in there somewhere. They fight her. They plead with her. Cyclops, in particular, is devastated. He's still holding on to the woman he loves even as she slips further away. But the rest of the universe? Not so forgiving. Enter the Shi'ar Empire, a powerful alien civilization that basically says, "Yeah, sorry, but this lady has to go." They demand Jean's execution. The X-Men offer a deal. Let them fight for her life in a trial by combat. What follows is one of the most epic battles in X-Men history. Jean fighting side by side with her team, struggling to hold on to who she used to be. But deep down, Jean knows the truth. She knows the Phoenix is too dangerous, that even if she wins today, the power could corrupt her again tomorrow. So, in a final act of clarity and sacrifice, she makes the ultimate choice. She ends her own life. Right there on the moon, in front of the man she loves and the team that's become her family, Jean Grey says goodbye, not as a god, not as a weapon, but as a human, a hero. And that moment hit readers hard. This wasn't just a character dying, it was the emotional core of the X-Men, the person who held the team together, choosing to sacrifice herself for the good of the universe. And for decades, this was the defining moment of Jean Grey's story. So Jean dies on the moon. But this is Marvel Comics, and let's be honest, no one stays dead forever, especially not Jean Grey. A few years after her death, we get a major twist. The Jean who became the Dark Phoenix wasn't really Jean. The real Jean Grey had been in a healing cocoon at the bottom of Jamaica Bay the whole time, while the Phoenix Force took her place, copying her mind and body. Yeah, it's a classic comic book retcon, and it's wild. But it gave Marvel a way to bring her back without undoing the emotional weight of her sacrifice. When she finally returns, she rejoins her old teammates in X-Factor. But it's not all sunshine and hugs. Cyclops had moved on, got married, even had a kid. The reunion is messy, emotional, and full of that classic X-Men soap opera energy. But Jean powers through. She rebuilds herself. She's not the Phoenix now, she's just Jean. And that's enough. In New X-Men, her story takes another turn. She grows stronger, wiser, more confident. The Phoenix comes back, of course, it always does, but this time Jean doesn't just burn, she rises. And yes, she dies again because being Jean Grey is basically a full-time cosmic roller coaster. But in Phoenix Resurrection, we get a turning point. Jean comes back for real, not as a copy or Force host, but as herself. This time she's clear-headed, grounded, and totally done being pushed around by cosmic powers. She's not running from the Phoenix anymore, she's rejecting it. She chooses to live on her own terms. Then we get to X-Men. Red, one of her most powerful arcs yet. Jean becomes a leader in every sense of the word. She builds a team focused on peace, justice, and mutant survival. Not through war, but through empathy and strategy. She's done reacting to chaos. Now she's shaping the world. And in the Krakoan era, Jean stands tall among the most powerful mutants of all time, not as the Phoenix, but as herself. She sits on the Quiet Council, helps shape the future of mutant kind, and proves that she's more than just a vessel for fire and destruction. She's a survivor, a leader, a legend. After everything, death, rebirth, heartbreak, and even wiping out an entire civilization, Jean Grey is no longer defined by the Phoenix. She's defined by her choices, and that's what makes her one of the greatest X-Men of all time. Jean Grey's story isn't just about power. It's about what it means to hold onto yourself when everything around you is trying to tear you apart. She started out as a kind, thoughtful girl with a quiet strength, and over time became one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. But no matter how much power she gained, her story was never about dominance. It was about identity, sacrifice, and choice. Jean's biggest battle was never with the Phoenix, or with the villains trying to control her. It was with the fear that she wasn't enough on her own, that she was just a puppet, or a weapon, or someone else's idea of what power should look like. But every time she was broken down, she found a way to rise again. Not because she had cosmic fire behind her, but because she had heart. And that's why Jean Grey matters. Whether it's her sacrifice on the moon, her defiance of the Phoenix, or her leadership in Krakoa, Jean shows us what real strength looks like. It's not about being unstoppable. It's about knowing when to fight, when to forgive, and when to let go. She's not just a mutant. She's not just an X-Man. She's not even just the Phoenix. She's Jean Grey. And her story will always burn bright. If you made it this far, you're officially one of the gifted. So don't just vanish into the multiverse. Hit that subscribe button and stick around. We've got more stories coming, more mutants, more legends, more chaos. Because in this corner of YouTube, the saga never ends. It just resurrects. Like Jean.